Good evening, welcome to the Town of Acton, Maine Selectmen's meeting for December 9th, 2020. Kim's not with us tonight. She has a really bad case of bronchitis, so she's been out for a few weeks. Hopefully we'll see her again next week, so we wish her all the best. First item, salute the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Town Administrator Weekly Update. Floor is yours, Jen.
All right, so just a few things for this week. Last week we had a pretty long discussion on COVID, and that's the first item that I wanted to talk about. We did have, we've got a couple of issues going on in regards to the transfer station. We sent out emails and we've posted it according to the governor's order. And I wanted to let you know that we got yet another legal opinion because we are having, we are getting pushback from a resident or two in regards to having to wear a mask at the transfer station. So Michelle and I went back to legal and made sure that we were understanding 100% that if someone just flat out refuses to wear a mask, we are not allowed to let them dump. We're not allowed to let them in the town hall. They just refuse to. We offer them a mask. They say no, they don't want to. They have to be asked to leave. It's that simple. If they say they have a medical condition, we do not inquire anymore. We don't ask. We say, okay, we have special accommodations for you, and this is what it is. That's where it stands. I mean, I need the board to be prepared on what our next step is going to be. As the next week comes around and these individuals go back and are not willing. That was the follow-up question was legal, was if our special accommodations are the transfer station is going to be open on Wednesdays from 4 to 4:30. Do we have the right to say to these people, you need to tell us if you're coming on Wednesday from 4 to 4:30, because, you know, or is it up to the taxpayers to fund it that extra half hour just thinking that someone with accommodations? But they said no, you have every right to say, you know, it's every Wednesday from 4 to 4:30, but you need to let us know if you're coming. So we're not staying late open unless we hear from them. But the superintendent is already asking, you know, what's going to happen this week when you know, and I need to make sure you're checking your emails, which I know you are, but you see the correspondence from the resident. I've forwarded the whole thread to Maine Municipal. They don't have any concerns, any at all, but it's just not it's an uncomfortable situation to deal with.
Really putting us in a pretty tough spot because we're only doing what we're told we have to do.
Right. And it didn't help, and this is, you know, and I guess this is the piece I try to strive, or I try to reiterate to people. It doesn't help, and I say this as a selectman from a neighboring town and not as a town administrator, but it doesn't help when we have select boards in other towns up north. I don't know if you saw the article that made the headlines that you know, there's a select board up Maine that voted to not enforce the mask mandate. I mean, nobody in this room has any idea how I feel about masks. You know, they may or may not know how you guys feel. They certainly don't know how Cheryl feels. We're not making this up. It's not our personal choice. Do you know what I mean? If we don't follow the laws, then we have the employees that can sue, we have the residents that can sue, we can be held responsible.
That town up Maine that's not doing what the state says,
right,
is putting themselves in a really precarious situation, because if they're not going by the state guidelines and all of a sudden the town administrator gets sick and this and that,
right,
and say this town administrator thinks that everybody ought to be wearing a mask.
The town administrator can say, I got it at work, you didn't protect me.
So that puts, that town, and we're not gonna, I don't believe the town of Acton wants to put themselves in that situation. And
well, I don't know that we can trump the governor, like her or not, like it or not.
But that individual sent the email saying this town did this done and that. What I'm trying to say is, we're doing what the state says so we can keep our hands clean of this. I don't like these things any more than anybody else. I hate these things. I think it's silly, but I'm doing it. But where the state says we have to do it, we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great idea. I think it'd be a better idea, like you said, to have them call in and schedule it.
Well, they have to, because we're not gonna stay open, kind of like the town hall, and, you know, whether we go outside or we use a drop box, we do it by mail. I mean, we're not just gonna sit and assume that's gonna happen. If you don't call and pre-schedule it, then we're gonna assume no one's coming.
Yep. It's pretty simple. I mean, really, we
You would
made all...
think so, but day to day, it's not.
Oh, I know, I've seen the emails. I mean, yeah, and I don't like
They're
these things
exhausting.
either. I think I guess they work, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, so.
I'm just not a fan of the emails when they come through threatening and lawsuits and everything else, and when you do that,
Yeah.
right now, anybody that threatens legal action against the state of Maine's mandate, they're taking on more than the town of Acton, they're
Yeah.
taking on the state of
Yeah.
Maine mandate, and we're getting stuck in between this, like we want to do this. I don't wanna do this anymore, I think this is silly having this thing, right here, but we have to have it. So, I mean, you can make all the threats you want, you can email and this and that, we're just doing what we have to do.
Right, and that's the one thing about the governor's order, I mean, they worked in conjunction with the Maine Department of Human Rights with people with disabilities, and they worked hard to make sure that no rights were violated, and, so that commission and that piece in the order, which I think I sent the individual, I thought it was well-written by them, because it's nobody's intention to step on anybody or to put them, I think the email said, in the back of the bus because they have a disability. It's nothing like that.
The individual seems to forget there's another individual's rights that could be, they got the right to, not get COVID either.
Right.
Okay? And that person could put him in,
Well,
people in
and
danger.
their flip side is that just don't come out of the transfer station.
Yeah.
Let me pull up without my mask on, let me get out and dump, and let me drive off.
Yep.
That's what they would like to see happen, but just, I mean, I appreciate you guys checking your emails and keeping up with it, because it does get to be exhausting when there's so, but, so, other than that, I mean, we talked to all the staff about the logs, and everybody has taken on the responsibility, and we kind of made that clearer. I did have some conversations downstairs, we still want to make sure that, obviously, the 6 feet thing is working, and how many people can be in there and stuff, so, Cheryl actually mentioned one of our projects this week, we have to retape these chairs, because unless you're in the same household, the chairs are still supposed to be 6 feet apart, so that's something that we'll be working on.
And we
I think
also
that,
done, and I got a concern about some of the department, couple of departments, we'll say couple, how's that? Individuals going to certain departments, not knowing why they're there, I don't know, but unless you have an actual reason to be there, you're doing business or whatever, being there for a long period of time to hang out, it's probably not a good idea in this environment right now.
yeah, we try, and I know, and I'm sure they're doing the same, we try to move them in and out, do your transaction and be on your way, and that's for your own protection as well, but we aren't
I
allowing
want
visitors.
all the departments to do the same thing, because I believe there's some issues with people hanging out longer than they should, and not doing town business. So
I can add that to the list too of the department head meeting that we're gonna be having, and that, might be a good way to, and staff may be looking for some assistance in helping you word that, I mean, of how to make that happen, because it's not always the easiest thing to say,
Well, I mean, say if you go to a department and you're there because, you had a couple questions, this and that, that's fine and all that, but there are other people coming in and out.
Right,
They may not feel comfortable with you being there.
right.
And if you're there for absolutely no reason, then don't be there.
Small chit chat and move it on. Right. So, all right, so other than that, I mean, it seems to be working well. We've only had a couple of issues since last week, and the transfer station, we're gonna be starting their logs this weekend and everything, and they're on board with it, so they're trying hard as well. It's that time of year that Maine Municipal is going to be coming out. He called me today, and then we got one of my road guys here, Will, I'll have to reach out to Adam if you remind me. January 5th, weather permitting, our insurance auditors are coming to spend the day with us.
Oh, joy.
Yes, we're gonna be doing a complete analysis of the town hall, which will be my responsibility, the sand and salt building, the rescue building, and, so remind me, fire chief as well, schoolhouse on Orchard Road. That seems like a lot in one day, unless we're just doing a walkthrough, but that, based on their inspections in the past, that feels like a
Yeah, we've
lot.
done that in one day.
Yeah.
At least we've done the town shed, the little schoolhouse over there on the Orchard Road.
Rest-
I did that when I was road commissioner. I mean, I don't think the road commissioner.
So who's-
But
And this is probably gonna sound silly, and maybe I do and I don't even realize it, because obviously we have a master key set. How do we get into the schoolhouse? I mean, is this the school, I mean, I remember people, I don't live in Acton, there's something with my brain
Is that
just
the
doesn't.
Lincoln
This isn't the
Orchard
Milton Mills one that Mr. Neal deals with, there's another one?
Orchard Road, right?
Well, Orchard Road, so that's a Lincoln School.
I believe so.
Oh, I thought Lincoln School was on Milton Mills Road.
No, it's this corner of Milton Mills and Orchard.
Oh, okay, so it's the same one, okay, so it's Lincoln Schoolhouse, all right.
Yeah.
Then I will reach out to Mr. Neal, okay?
Yep.
And then I'll reach out to, obviously, the road guys
If
and
you
the,
can get a key, we ought to have one.
and we may, well, and that's why I said, don't quote me on it, we may have one, if it's town property, we probably
Yeah.
have one in the vault, we'll take a look and see if we do. So anyway, so that's gonna be a big ta-da, we'll see, what
And
they.
we've done a lot of work since then, since the last time they did all those,
Yep.
so it should be
And it's
fairly
just, yeah,
straightforward.
it's following up with little things that,
Yep.
but.
We'll just make sure there's fire extinguishers, the fire extinguishers and stuff still down in the shed.
Yeah, they're down.
Okay.
And maybe I'll have the liaison of the roads and liaison of the fire department the week before, maybe just kind of talk and do a walkthrough as well. And we'll have the chair do it here, so,
First aid kit's even down there too.
good job.
What's that?
First aid kit.
Kit's even down.
Good.
Department head meeting we had talked about doing, we sent the emails, we had a hard time scheduling it, we were shooting for this Thursday, but with, the chair out, that doesn't look like it's gonna work, so, code enforcement is out the following week. So I'm still trying to work on a day, I will be,
We're having a hard time with Rick too, wasn't it? Trying to get Rick from the chief.
what?
Rick,
Oh, Rick, I think it's Rick, I'm sorry. Well, he had picked one of the 2 days.
oh, he did?
Yeah, he
Oh,
eventually,
man, I
yeah.
guess I was confused. I thought we were having a hard time getting him scheduled.
Yeah, so we may end up just having to split it up, which I think I did in the last email. You know what I mean, we'll do the town hall as one, and we just really want to make sure the department heads and everybody's on the same page with COVID and get any concerns and things like that, so. So about this time every year, we ask for your permission to have a Christmas luncheon, and we usually do a Yankee swap. It's something that we budget for in one of our miscellaneous accounts. Something just to kind of treat the staff, we do the town hall and the transfer station. Fire station does their own. In speaking with Michelle today, obviously, it's probably not a good idea to do it this year.
No.
So with your blessing, we'll use those same funds and we'll just have, and certainly we'll offer to do it together, but we'll treat lunch to the transfer station, just let them do it there, we'll do the downstairs. We'll do it in
By
separate
department.
groups, just so that we're not all,
Yep.
kind of together, so.
Yeah, let each department have their own.
Yep. I figured instead of waiting until the week of, based on the fairly short agenda these next couple of weeks, how do we feel about canceling the meeting on Wednesday, December 23rd? I mean, unless something pressing comes up, we canceled the Wednesday before Thanksgiving,
I don't have to check my schedule.
to see if you can cancel.
It's fine
Because
with
you're
me.
working on the agenda?
I actually expected that to come up tonight, sure.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, unless something comes up, I don't have an issue with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it gives everybody oh my God, these things, it gives everybody, a chance
Yeah.
that, for those of us like me that might be baking all night.
yeah, some that may have to finish their Christmas
Cameron, there's a lot of
shoplifting.
little people, not little people, a lot of little things that, might.
We don't have anything real stressing on.
No, I mean, we'll see if anything comes up, we'll do it, but I'll advertise it
Definitely.
being canceled and we'll see what
Yeah,
happens. It looks like we are closing on the tanker trunk loan on Friday.
beautiful.
So we've been working diligently with that, with the fire chief, treasurer, and attorney, going back and forth with the closing paperwork it's all based on the warrant articles, so not a lot going on there, but we're hoping to close on the money Friday, so we can start working on that.
Truck will be-
Last thing I had was that a couple of new signs came in. I gave Will his Raccoon Road after years of dispute and back and forth of how raccoon is spelt. We have made an executive decision because apparently it's spelt differently on each side of the road.
Huh.
And as soon as William gets out there, that will change. It's gonna be one way. So, that big
We
question has
just
been
changed
answered.
and called it Skunk Road and get away from
We
Raccoon
could,
altogether.
yes, but, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a big topic for a lot of people.
Sure.
Bothers a lot of people driving on that road. The sign was different. So,
Good.
nobody seemed to really care which way it was spelled, so I went with the proper way, and that's
There
what
we
we
go.
chose.
Good.
So, the other one is Hushy Hill Road, which I think is the other side of town. 911 operator, and I don't want to speak for her, but for some reason had to cut off a piece and made it East Hushy Hill Road, something she'd been working on with the state, so
Oh.
there's a piece of that got cut off and made east, so there's a sign, the
Well,
other road.
because the
commissioner-
problem is you got Hushy Hill Road coming in off Peck Road. Then you have the Hushy Hill Road coming off, Hopper Road. You
Maybe-
can't- You can't go through.
Maybe that was,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
so, yeah, that sounds familiar now that you say that.
yeah,
So anyway, so those signs, the guys have them or will have them, and I'm sure they'll get them up as soon as they can. So, all right, that's all I got, boys.
sounds great, thank you. Warrants have been signed, I signed mine, you signed yours,
Yep.
so. Approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, and I'll second that. Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor? All opposed? Minutes of the last meeting?
What was the date on the last meeting?
I haven't
They were
seen.
well-written and typed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cheryl and I both approved them. If you want to put it off a week, you can. There's 5 pages. What
okay. Yep, yeah, I haven't seen them, so.
are we doing?
Okay.
Put it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tweak, okay.
Remind me to email them.
Okay, open up to department heads, committee chairs. Do we have any?
Well, that was District 1, just a few things. Last week, the guardrail on the H Road got replaced, the section that got hit, so that's all done. And on the Garvin Road, the past week or two, I've been fighting some beavers, so I had traffic law go down there. We caught 4 beavers out of there, so that's all unplugged and going back into Wilson Lake. And then Saturday and Sunday, we had our first snow event. Me and Adam, we both stayed out till like midnight at 1 o'clock, went in, got a little bit of sleep, came back out, cleaned up what we had to do, and then I had to go touch up a few things Sunday afternoon. And we're in pretty good shape for the first storm, so but that's all I have. So.
Great, appreciate it. Any other,
Make a comment.
go
I
ahead.
think the guys did a pretty good job. I like and of course, being in the position that you guys have been in, because I was out during the storm too, you know. I dealt with the same things, power lines down, trees down, and just let the public know that, you know, you guys are trying your hardest to mark out these spots. There was some complaints, that certain power lines weren't done, this and that, and as far as I know, they were. I went down and checked myself, actually helped them out, laying them out where they should be. People were stealing them, running them over, and to let people know
Stealing the
that.
signs?
Oh, yeah. And, people for some reason got a fetish on cones, they love cones. So, but when the cones are up there and the road is shut down, there's a reason why they're there.
Yeah.
And the power line was actually, they were driving over the power line. But at the same time, the guys are trying to keep these roads open, and it was a tough storm for everybody. And I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, basically, it was an ice storm with a snowstorm on top of it.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag of
Yeah.
everything. It was just a crap
Yeah,
storm.
yeah,
And, it's not the good way to start the winter,
no,
but it's all behind us, and,
yeah, I think, yeah, everybody did a great job for a storm out, so. Okay, any other department heads, committee chairs? Going once, going twice? Okay, moving on. Old business, comp plan committee.
So, most everything here, with your permission, other than D&E, we would like to table until the chair returns. She does have an appointment, assuming she's feeling better, to meet with the treasurer on Friday to review those the policies and comprehensive plan. She obviously wants to be here for that as well.
Okay,
And it's really nothing that can't wait.
okay, so we will table A, B, and C. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay. Bill of sale for the thermal camera. I think we
So you
have-
guys approved the sale last week. That is the bill of sales drafted by the attorney to make sure there's no liability for the town. So really just need a motion and signatures.
Okay,
where do the funds go from the sale that they go?
It goes back into the account,
They have a reserve account, they put it
for
in?
the fire department sale, yes, sale of property.
okay, so we have a bill of sale here. It's for a thermal camera that is no longer needed for the fire department. It's being sold for $499.99 to the town of Freiburg, Maine. We already voted last week to do this, so it's just a matter of signing this.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. tree lighting recap. Who's recapping that, Dave?
David
I'll
is.
recap on that. It was canceled, and then it was on. We had, obviously, Saturday, it was supposed to be Saturday, with the storm and all that. Myself and the rec committee, text messaging, not a good idea, so they rescheduled it for Sunday. Unfortunately, I got a phone call at, I think, 11 o'clock, tree down. We had that lovely tree there that, Kim donated. Took it hard. It broke in 3 spots. Well, 2, whatever you want to call it. It weren't good. So, we put our heads together, and then, I went down and purchased a tree. Dropped it off, and I guess everything went off without a hitch.
Looks nice.
I got a text message from Lori saying everything was cool.
Good.
About 26 families showed up.
Beautiful.
And surprising, because honestly, with COVID, the weather, no power,
Yeah.
I was kind of concerned that we may not get the turnout, but 26 families is better than I thought. That's pretty cool.
Good.
Did good to pull it together in this short amount of time,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Good thing Aubuchon's was open.
Is that where you bought the tree?
That's where I bought the tree.
Yeah.
Long Meadows was closed, everybody was closed. I mean,
Yeah, and Carol Ward was in today, and, they, she packaged everything up real nicely and put it away. They had extra little goodie bags, that had coloring books and crayons, and, what else was in there? Some, slime, candy canes, cocoa. So we took those bags. They had about 20 left or so, and we actually have 21 kids that we've adopted. So we put a bag with, they told us to divvy that up, so we put a bag with each family.
Beautiful.
So, yep.
Okay, good. Moving on to new business, school committee resignation.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So, we have a school committee resignation. You do have to, you have to make a formal motion to accept it, although it's really the responsibility of the school committee based on statute, but for transparency, we'd like to have you accept it. It is a well-written email that I don't have in front of me, but it is from Linda Cody. She thanked the committee for everything, and the school for everything they did. It's just not a good fit for her in her life right now, so she has regrettably resigned. She did that right around Thanksgiving, 1st of November. I know there's a post on Facebook. So the school committee has done by statute what they're supposed to do and have been advertising it, and it is up to the school committee, not the Board of Selectmen, to appoint the fill-in until the next election. So, and her term was up in June anyways. So they're advertising now. I believe they've narrowed it down to a candidate or 2, and we'll be making an appointment soon. But really just for a paper trail, a motion to accept the resignation.
Okay,
what's her first name?
Linda Cody.
I'll make a motion, we accept Linda Cody's resignation from the school committee.
okay. And I'll second it with regret. So that's too bad. Okay, move to second it, all in favor? All opposed? Okay. Do we have any announcements at all for tonight?
I really couldn't,
No, nothing? Okay,
no, we really don't have a lot of meetings
Okay.
scheduled. There's a planning board coming up, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be had. Other than that, not really much for meetings. We may have an Article 43. I had a gentleman that came in and,
okay.
wanted to submit an application. It wasn't quite complete, so we took it back with him, so I expect that we'll get that back soon, but
Okay.
quiet.
Then we'll do public comment, and then we got a quick executive session?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, open up to public comment. Anyone from the public? Dennis?
Just for clarification, it was my understanding that you guys were gonna start up a capital improvement committee.
Oh, and that's a typo.
I think that should be the comp plan, that should say capital improvement.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
two different,
Yeah,
obviously two different documents.
yeah.
But not to interrupt you, but on the comp plan note, since that's there, we found out in Shapley just this week that the state has lifted the requirement that towns have a comprehensive plan in place. All of a sudden, they've lifted that, so we're working on trying to put a new comp plan over. Maybe that's why I was thinking it, but
You're thinking,
maybe
yeah.
it's just a typo.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, where everybody had to have it, and so much of your zoning refers to the comp plan.
Right,
So that's gonna really,
yeah, they've lifted,
if you decide not to have one, it's really going to
Right, well, I mean, in Shapley, we've done it 2 or 3 times, the voters have approved it, because the voters have to approve your comprehensive plan at town meeting, then we send it to the state and they deny it.
Yeah.
So, we've been working on it, we finally got to a point, that we thought we had something to go with, and they sent an email back saying it was no longer a requirement, that they were enforcing, so.
Yeah.
But good catch, yeah, that was just
I think it's a good thing to still have, so.
Yeah, no,
I think the problem is our comp plan has a lot of stuff that is put in there that probably not gonna be applicable later on in life.
well, I think it's just
Yeah, I mean, it's
expired,
something you
it just
get
needs to be
to, it should be a
updated.
working document you gotta review every
Yeah.
2 or 3 years, and, yeah, yeah. Okay,
But I guess by saying that, obviously this would be a conversation for the planning board, but you'd have to change a lot of the references in your zoning if you did decide to
yeah,
not have it, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, I mean, even though the state says we don't have to have it, I think it's probably still a good idea to have.
If that's the case, I mean, Acton definitely needs to update theirs,
Yeah.
it's,
Most definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
we're gonna take the out and not do one.
The other thing is talking about downstairs in the COVID. Out here, you know, we've done a pretty good job to keep people safe, which, you know, I obviously totally agree with. It would really be kind of short money to do the same thing downstairs for the same protection.
So what do you
The
suggest?
system that,
What do you suggest to do downstairs?
what I would do is do like you have out here, is I put up a wall.
Somebody, the wall conversation made it to him.
yeah. Well, you were gonna check with Ken.
Yep, that's on my list.
Yeah.
So they have the plastic barriers here. I mean, our wall was obviously already in place. So they
Yeah.
have the same plastic barriers that we have in here. There has been talk about a wall. Originally, when it came before us, the number went from 1,000 to 5,000 or 6,000. It was the recommendation of the treasurer, the Board of Selectmen, not to expend it, spend the money on other things, because we've been inundated from the carpets to the cleaning to the COVID, everything that we've had to buy. Most everything that's supposed to be reimbursed hasn't been. Michelle recommended that we not spend the money on it at that point. That was a couple months ago. There was talk about doing a special town meeting. There's been talk about plexiglass. I have offered in several emails that I have, in my sent box, we have plexiglass that we could put under the land use secretaries. So there are, you know, we have made offers and suggestions. Just last week, Ed mentioned the wall again, getting numbers together. It's on my list.
I'm not,
But-
I'm not speaking for them, Jen, I was just speaking.
Oh, no, I know, I just
Yeah,
find ironic, okay.
No,
The wall comes up, right.
Nothing from that,
No, no, yep,
it's observation, you know, we, regardless,
yeah, no, it's definitely important.
care of protecting people at the
Yeah.
transfer station and the school does whatever, and I'm sure the fire.
Right, I mean, we have the desk, 6, 12 feet apart, we've got the plastic.
yep.
So do you feel that downstairs isn't adequate the way it is?
No, not really.
But you weren't down there for over an hour the other night, you didn't seem to be worried about it,
Yeah, I was down there for an hour,
yeah?
and
So-
which I have the right to be.
No, well, this is a different time, Dennis, and when I refer to the people coming in and hanging out, I did that for a reason, because here we are, we're all wearing masks, well, you're worried about protection here and there,
Yeah,
okay, but you spend an hour down there around people that you're supposedly worried about,
right.
okay? So where does it make sense to me that hanging out down the codes for an hour is a good idea?
Well, first off, I had my mask on, they had their masks on.
Okay, I know, I understand that.
Quiet. There, one person was on one side of the plexiglass, I was on the other,
Okay,
okay?
but the issue we're having here is,
Issue-
I'm speaking,
Go ahead.
the issue we're having here is, you're not the only individual that has to go in and out of codes,
That's right.
okay? So I find it ironic that you're worried about their safety, but you're hanging out down there.
I wasn't hanging out, I was doing business.
What were you doing?
It's really none of your business.
Because you're not the head of the planning board
Didn't
anymore,
say I
so.
was.
And honestly, unless it was personal,
Some of it was,
okay, but,
but not all of it. Some of it was town business.
okay? You were doing town business down there outside of the planning board?
I was asking questions.
Okay, isn't that the head of the planning board's job to do? Shouldn't you be doing that with the planning board?
Doing what?
Well, you shouldn't be doing any business outside the planning board, should
I'm
you?
not doing any business, I
Just
was
said you
asking
were.
questions.
Okay,
of code
Do that at the
enforcement.
planning board meeting?
Can I?
If you're so worried about those people
We
down
didn't
there,
have a
then
planning
maybe you
board
shouldn't be
meeting.
down there just hanging out.
We didn't have a planning board meeting,
No kidding.
okay? So I couldn't
So you
ask
had
at the
your own?
planning board meeting, no.
I guess you're not getting my drift.
I guess I'm not. I guess you need to explain it to me a little
So,
better.
like I said, I find it ironic that you're so concerned about it down there, but you have no problem spending an hour down there hanging out.
I wasn't hanging out, I was doing business.
I was here.
I know you
Saw
were
you-
here.
I saw you
So
down
what?
there.
You know what I was talking about?
No, but you were just.
All right then, you don't know what you're talking about right now.
No, I do know what I'm talking
You
about.
don't.
Okay? And I just think it's a bad idea. It's setting a bad precedent that someone will spend over an hour down there. I don't know what business you had to do. I'm not saying you don't have the right to go down there, but to hang out in a public place right now with
wasn't
this
hanging out.
COVID problem and then come up and say, we have to worry about the COVID problem because you are the COVID problem if you're hanging out when you're not necessarily being there.
Well, you're wrong, so.
I'm sure I am. I'm always wrong, Dennis.
You usually are, only when
I
you...
know, but you could.
That's about the only
you could
time
sit
you're
down
wrong.
now.
Okay, both of you, that's enough. We've heard enough. Thank you. Thank you.
This isn't right.
No, it's not. Okay, you all set, Dennis? Thank you. Okay, any other public comment? Going once? Going twice? Do I hear a motion for executive session?
I'll make a motion there. We go into executive session. Personnel 4056A-11.
It's 6:35. I'll second it. All in favor?
Block from here.
All opposed? Okay, executive session. We'll be back.
I was down there on business.
The problem is that the information is there to the finance in enough time.
I had to,
I mean, don't you budget?
I had to think for it a lot last year.
Hand sanitizer, and shouldn't be all the information on the wall.
They wouldn't let us meet either. Last year, they went to them. And they forbid the bathroom.
Well, to get the information.
Because they're employees, yeah.
No. Their employees, they would be paid.
And this, no, they're not.
Yeah. I know.
No, it's employees that was on the town. Which was a little fair. And the selectmen said, no employees of the town can do this.
Now, let me think, not well, how much is sort of the other one?
Should be more often than that, sir.
They make recommendations on finances.
Yeah, but it's their money too. If you get three
No,
people,
I agree.
three people making a decision when they're.
But that's what they did. It's a fact, it's on record, it's on YouTube. That's what Winchell did. So you couldn't have the information you needed to do.
Well, I'm asking you.
Where don't
You
stop.
see the information I asked you just tonight, right? That's what I want to know.
So, Will, are you ready for the ice
No, I
wall?
appreciate that.
Figure out.
But what was going, they were coming to talk to us about. What Ricky Smith was on, and he would come and talk to us about it. Walking in, he would come and talk to us about it.
No, when you get a sale on you, I'm saying, well, you're gonna get 4%.
You didn't get a 2% raise, Joe, this year.
No.
Was it 1.3, 1.4?
Price of food.
You didn't get one, you didn't get a 2% raise last year.
And, what I'm saying is, the sale was 4% pay raise, and I'm saying, if we get 4% health insurance, and I get $600 a year.
That is a raise.
To me, that's a raise. And to them, it's something that, in the school town office, you know, that's the. Well, it's the days that people buy this is almost
That's
Will,
gone.
Will used to be a
You saw that road in the back, on the sand, he just loaded me with. Another road, yeah, and the gate covered. So they put it down, they give me. Why can't take it out of your pocket? You can't take it out of your pocket. When you pick it up, they don't want that. Could be floppy. You know, that's.
How did you boss here?
You did a good job. That's right, it's sand, rain, the road falls with the rain, down the road. And another one, accident.
Oh, that's all right. I know what you had on that track, get up there.
I know. So I bought a new test thing. You did a good job. Did you pre-treat it?
Oh, the hell's true. Yeah, especially one time I, going around that corner. It was flushing when I went around there, thank God.
Yeah, money went up on that.
That's what Timmy said, when you were going, so we first time we went out, like go down by your house, and I called out, we go down there, like I was coming out there, I was saying, there's this girl in the car. I said, that's all right. So I stopped, and I said, yeah, I said, what are you doing, all right? Oh, I was coming back from the dump. So I gotta get to the goose lawn. I said, why don't you go down the main road? You're going down the hill on the flat ground. I said, oh, well, I don't know. He said, I always go this way. She said, I thought I could make it. I'm like, there's 2 inches of snow.
You're trying to get an ace road?
Yeah, well, no, you're trying to go up, sure down the St. Page Road. Instead of going down the Mason Road, you think go down over the hill.
Oh, she stayed in the same page.
I was sitting there on the St. Page Road, spun out on the hill, so I go back down, and of course, I don't want to screw it, so I back out.
Yeah.
Get it right in the stack.
What are you driving, the orange truck or the red?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
My mom was driving the orange one.
The orange one or the red one?
The red one.
Red one.
The one that Timmy drove that he had for us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Well, that was nothing. That was just a typical thing. Nothing yet. Wait till you get stuck on the other side and go hill and you can't.
My other stop was the dump with a change on. All those stupid people coming out of the dump. He got up after the hill and some girl came out in front of him and he was just dead stop right there.
We've actually been going up past the dump, going up the hill, and had a woman come around the corner, skid right toward us, and there's nothing we could do. Right when the plow was down, and then somehow, just, all of a sudden she turned. She went down to the lane she should have been in. They were like, just waiting for it, and, you know, it was.
What do they do? Like St. Page, Mason Road, like Goose Lawn Road. But once you got past like 15th Street, that goes to, like, once you're drive, when you get up by the culvert, and then when you get past the little street, get by Joe, just get a little bit of elevation. And you have to use that on like the snow. Everything on like the low part, the low street, and nothing. Just pick a plow.
There's that little grade there, and then there's a kind of those little small posts going up that grade. That can be,
Yeah.
you know, especially with that snow, snow. That's what it's great.
That's a big thing, we just get out, get some sand on you, that's it.
Yeah. Well, you see why sand's coming water. You use all
Yeah,
salt.
sand.
Well, what happens, you use all salt and everything melts and then it freezes up, and then where you're at? We can't do that.
My side of town.
You use the salt. You use the ball.
You should have free TV there available right now?
No, I gotta call down there, I gotta watch some salt this weekend, we're really gonna do that, freezing rain, whatever, but yeah. That's the last thing, I was trying to just crap come off the trees, like no problem, and then it was like nasty.
Do you mix the salt into the sand or shoot it straight, straight salt?
No, you mix it all along and then, I was probably had like 250 tons, just straight salt, I
I mean, it's good stuff, but it's dangerous stuff, so you gotta be careful.
Like, it's worth it, good point.
But you remember years ago, they didn't know how much salt, they might buy 1 or 2 truckloads a year, it was all sand. It was all sand. But people didn't drive like 60 miles an hour down the road, ice covered roads, even, they had some rain.
I had a girl passing through the road.
Oh, what about?
That was on Saturday afternoon, she passed me, I was probably doing like 15, you know, I just, we stopped to slush off a little bit. She, no God, she was gone.
No, I was following my other up on, Joyce's Road there. Come around the corner, and bus driver right there, right on my side of the road, right up the road. So I go back and I got a louder fire, so he calls out. The woman who got the bus says, what plow truck? I didn't see no plow truck. Yes, it do. And she drives the bus, she keep up. I don't know.
No, it's a good one, that's for sure. My guy got thinking, when we had that thing there, his mom was even there, we got that 100% salt now. We were gonna hold different story, we were just down with that much saying about the whole guy, so.
I just want to ask you a technical question. Did you move the road by the campground there? You know when Ned Wiley, Ned Wiley was schoolhouse?
On the right of it, yeah.
What happened?
We just moved it, but I wanted to take that turn a little bit, so we didn't move it, we just made the turn a little bit more wider, not much so narrow. a little bit.
No, the center road ended and then people's driveway and the house, it was like, what happened?
Yeah, I didn't, when they marked it out, when they started paving, when it was screwed up, when they started paving, they broke down the pavement. So they brought another paver, and then the other paver crew that came was a different paving crew. So
Yeah.
So that paver crew that broke down left, so they brought another paver crew in. Well, the kid didn't mark it out like I wanted it to, when they did, because they were rushing, it was gonna rain, and they were
Yeah.
rushing.
Yeah.
So that next, so they put the top coat on, it was a little bit worse than it was before, so when they put the top coat on, I had them give me like 2 or 3 feet, so it looked better than it does.
It
but-
looks better, they came back and did something, but, it's something.
Yeah. It's a little bit different, I mean,
Did you get bids from Pike as well as
we got Dayton,
Dave?
F.I. Carroll, Pike, Billy Scott.
Yeah.
This is four, yeah. And Pike was the cheapest one.
By much?
They're $68 a ton, I think.
Really?
F.I. was 74.
Did they put the crush down or what?
What do you mean?
Did they put crush on the side?
No, we did that.
You did that, do you do that with a hook or hopper or how do you do that?
No, we did it with the grader.
With a grader?
So they got down reclaiming because they're.
Oh, you didn't really put down, you just used to reclaim, right?
Yeah, well, they're averaging with 9, 10 inches of hot top in that road, so they got down fine grade, and I had quite a railroad.
Yeah, oh, yeah, so,
And they want 15 grand for the shoulders on that road.
big grader?
Did it put shoulders on. We got thinking, you guys start hauling crushed gravel from North Road for wells.
Well, what are you gonna do with the crush stuff? The ground up stuff?
Well, that's what I mean, if I didn't have enough there, I was gonna have to put the shoulders on. I had enough there, but they want 15 grand to put shoulders on.
Yeah, well, that's what they get you, they give you a cheap price on the
Well, that's the thing.
payment, but anything else, it's more money.
Yeah, I know. This year's, I think it's gonna be, that guy can fight. I got it the other day, because I'm getting my 5-year plan for paving. I don't know, I haven't seen nothing, but he told me that they're gonna bid low again this year, and hopefully get it again.
Well, why are they bidding low?
Want to work. So, well, you gotta think the state work slowed right down this year,
Yeah.
because Corona and all that stuff, that dried up real fast. The turnpike work,
But isn't Frankie Carroll tied in with Pike going?
it's all state.
Yeah, but I think they're all.
No, they got nothing to do with it. That's all.
Two completely different ones.
Two completely different companies. All state pavement. I've seen that one, that big plant in our Mass. They're the biggest outfit in Massachusetts.
Yeah, they must have bought up trying now.
They bought that farm, they bought 3 or 4 more, bought enough to me. But there's all state pavement, was Carroll Materials,
Yeah.
but they left the name, but like Frank Carroll, the boy there, Frank Carroll, he still runs the whole operation.
Yeah.
But they don't have to do payroll anymore, they all go to the office, everybody gets a digital
The
channel.
only thing they're doing is the concrete.
Concrete laptops, yeah, they still got the mine up there, they blast on them, you would haul stone out of it.
They're still pouring and stuff.
Oh, yeah, pouring concrete, they just bought,
Carroll still run the concrete plant though. They still own that.
no, they bought the whole shooting match.
Really?
They bought everything.
Yeah.
They weren't coming in just bought laptops, they bought everything.
Oh, the guys thought there was some of there, want some concrete, then they have like 35 years.
Oh, no, they bought the whole shooting match, everything.
Huh.
They probably bought it because of the location and the resources, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Well, they gave a chunk of change for that. I mean, 'cause you gotta think, they updated that plant just 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They dumped one, they got that Victoria that they lost, that's big money now, that lead drive. You know,
The thing is, Carroll still, I mean, his reputation was impeccable.
Yeah, he owned everything.
You know what I mean? But
I met him by accident one day,
anybody say bad about that operation up there, they're lying.
the same guys, they hired all the same guys back, they told them, they went in there, because my dad, one of the dogs my dad went to school with, like, knew it real well in high school. She said, when we went in there, we told them, everybody that works here is saying, you find nobody regarding it. Everybody, well, us, we ain't selling together. This is what we want, they gave it to them, and like a lot of they came back with, however they do it, check, or however they do it, give them the money, and she said, now she said, they just sent everything down to Mass, and the big company down to Mass, and there's all the billing, she says, and
Did they do the ceiling, or they've been doing the ceiling here, the ceiling, they put 109 there.
they, that all state, yeah, when they took over, they do it all, they do chip, like chip sealing.
Yeah.
Which I'm, they,
Oh, they got liquid ceiling.
yeah, they do it too, yeah. Which I wanna try that chip sealing, I'm gonna do it, when they do it, they say that stuff works good, like, I want to do it, I'm just
Oh,
wanting
there's no thought there, no county.
That's the thing.
Somehow it sounds silly, but I swear to God, they know when the power goes out, they know when the electric is no longer.
Oh, yeah, these roads, they all regular. You know, they say they're building houses like that.
Everywhere. Watch them, go watch them out there.
Well, you don't have it. Big house.
Okay.
I love my agenda, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Motion.
Okay, do I hear a motion to come out of executive session? It is 6:50.
I need your paper there, I left my agenda in the other. Make a motion to come out of, executive session personnel 4056A-11,
Oh, -1. What typos, who made this thing tonight?
6:50.
Yep. I'll second it.
Should be 1.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, all opposed? Okay, that's that. We're out. Public comments done. Announcements have been done. I guess with that, I don't have anything else to add.
Motion we adjourn?
Yep, I'll second it. All in favor? Night, everyone. Thank you.